Murky Cup qualifier number 6. The final qualifier, ladies and gentlemen, and we are in the semi-final. You know what that means. It's time for bounties, potentially. We have Team Ash going up against the Krankle crew, and Infernal Shrines is our first map. So, once again, huge shout out to I Can't Wait, who sponsors this tournament. Without him, this one would not be possible. And I have to also give a quick shout out to Kevin in that context, the two of them. Obviously fantastic when we have like some private people step it up and sponsor tournaments, making, well, just in general, supporting the competitive scene and helping us to host tournaments like this and yeah, get the competition going, continue it after Blizzard has cancelled HGC all the time ago. You wouldn't believe the amount of comments that I get on my YouTube channel in particular, where people are coming in and they're like, oh my god, this game still has tournaments? And I was like, yeah, kind of. For the last 6 years, we had offline events, we had it all, so that's not normal for a game that has been abandoned by the company that produced it for such a long time. So, thumbs up to the Heroes of the Storm community. Also, if you watch it on YouTube, another thumbs up for the video, please. Bans are kicking in. Still, we are in the semis, so quick look at the bounties. We have bounties. We have a $2,000 prize pool. The prize pool is split into $1,000 that go to the top teams and $1,000 that go into the bounty pool. These are bounties that teams can complete. It's incentives to play heroes or talents that we usually don't see. If a team completes a bounty, they get a ticket for the bounty pool. If they complete the Murky bounty, they get 3, as you can see here, hence the name Murky Cup. And at the end of the tournament, after the playoffs, we're looking at how many bounties were completed in total, and then how many bounties were completed per team, and each team then gets a share out of that bounty pool according to how much they were able to do in relation to the whole. So with that, we have currently first pick, we got Blaze, very quickly locked in here in our first game. There's another draft rule that I should point out in case you're a little bit newer to this and haven't watched all that many of the games, and that is that heroes that are played within a series cannot be played again in the same series. So after the first map, the 10 heroes that you see cannot be played again in this best of 3 that we have here. And yeah, we got Maiev and Joanna now for Krankle crew. And apparently it seems like Krew is not playing for them today. So Porky is still there. They still have some NA representation. But Krew apparently is today subbed out and not playing with the team. I mean, again, totally fine. Krew has been playing in a lot of tournaments for them. And sometimes it even surprises me a little bit on how many he's able to participate in, considering that they are playing really different time zone, cross-server. But in this one, apparently, he had to sit out. Blaze and Diablo for Team Ash. We have Brightwing for them heals as we're heading into Infernal Shrines. Also, in case I did not, this is the last qualifier, but again, if you're not quite familiar with how the system works just in general, we have teams can participate in as many qualifiers as they want. Every single qualifier they participate in, as they progress through the rounds, they gather points. Points are added up. Top 6 teams in the leaderboard that gets created with these points then advance to the playoffs. So, yeah, just as a bit of a side note on this. But, well, let's see. Currently, we have our final ban. Tracer has been eliminated. The Parker would have been happy on that. Kind of shame that Vala got banned. Vala Infernal Shrines. I would love to see a few more multi-shot Valas too. We've had a couple. But the dominant build is, of course, still auto attack. When we're talking in general, if you're talking just simply Battlefield of Eternity, then Arrow still dominates. But generally speaking, auto attack style for Vala is these days the most popular, normally supported by 2 healers, or at least the triple frontline. But none of that in game number 1 at least. They got Kayn for more control on the shrine and also heals, and we get Tigers. So Porky is the last one that's left. We still need a side laner. Highly unlikely that Maiev is going to take over that role. But the double pick on the blue team side. Yeah, and we need damage for Infernal Shrines. Junkrat has not been banned and not been picked, so he would be a very good choice. You want a mage to go with that normally, so you could go also for, let's say, Gul'dan. Mephisto. Probius! It is bounty time! Okay, Team Ash wants the Probius bounty. Porky, are they going for a bounty as well? What's happening on the side lane for them? Probius bounty for Team Ash. They're playing the probe and they try to get the win with it. Me likey. we had a Probius already. I think they completed the bounty too. So one probe, two? I think 2 Probius were played. Ixia once, and then Exodia Stack, I think, played it. We get Urel on the side lane, and that sets us up for the first map, ladies and gentlemen. We get the Krankle crew going up against Team Ash. Game number 1, Team Ash against the Krankle crew. And on the left, we have Ranella on Brightwing, Bishops on Diablo, Lopaka with Probius, and Morenas on Blaze. Down for life, last but not least, playing Cassia for the team in the first game of the series. On the right side, the Krankle crew with Malkarks on Tychus. We get Krankle on Johanna, Deviant is playing Deckard Kane, Porky on Urel, and Sven is playing Maiev, last but not least. So, game. Let's see what we're getting here today. This is gonna be a wild one, potentially. Team Ash is in a fantastic spot, just generally speaking. At this point, they're actually second in the leaderboard. So they did a great job in gathering points. The only team that is ahead of them is the Dudes, who I believe you're going to see later. So there's quite a bit of movement that we had in the past in those spots. But it's going to be interesting to see which one of the 2 teams that we now have right in front of us is going to be able to make the big play here today. Should actually be pretty fun, honestly. This is a series where I would not be shocked in the slightest to see it go to a third map. I mean, you never know. Maybe one team, has a good day and gains a bit of momentum here, but just generally, this is definitely one of the best of 3s that could go to the final map. For now, we have, of course, camps spawning on the map, so it's time to see who's able to lock in the neutral camp at the bottom. Probius is already coming in for that. Probius, by the way, with the Echo Pulse as the level 1 talent. And yeah, has to move away from this, so this is going to be a very rude awakening in the early game for the probe. Now, as a Zerg player myself, it shouldn't really come as a surprise that I absolutely despise probes, because every single time you see one, it usually means that you're getting probe rushed. So not something that I'm going to enjoy too much. But I'll let that slide for now, and we'll see how much of an impact Lopaka is going to have here. Lopaka is actually going to... He's the one that also played Murky for them. Yeah, so he seems to be the one that just goes for the wild heroes these days and tries to help them getting those bounties. I love how teams have adopted bounties in the qualifiers. This is the this is the 3rd tournament now that we're playing with the bounty system. But we have gone through a couple of iterations. It's essentially the same of what we did with Meta Madness. We had always some pretty cool ideas, I think, but we needed to adapt the system over time in order to see what works and what doesn't. And there's always a couple of different ways how you can do that. There was the idea, hey, maybe we should make some bounties more impactful than others. Maybe even for a bounty that fails, you get a reward. There's a lot of different things that you actually can do. One of the things that we wanted to do from the start, though, was to keep the system as simple as possible, because it is oftentimes also for the audience a little bit tricky to follow what exactly is going on. But what we've done in the first qualifier is we haven't actually allowed bounties to be played in... Sorry, what we played in the first time that we had the bounty system on qualifier. Back in the first tournament where we used the bounty system, we didn't allow for bounties to be played in the qualifiers because we were a little bit afraid that it would be used too heavily against weaker teams. Went pretty well, was a great tournament, but we still felt we could tweak it a bit. Second tournament, we made it a captain's draft just because it was time to change things up a little bit once again. And that was actually quite fun. And the bounties, especially in the round robin, got adopted quite well. And that's something that was already very nice and really enjoyable. And now here, the third time that we're doing it, using a qualifier system again, which is open so that anybody that wants to participate in these events can play, made it again quite challenging to determine, hey, when are we going to use bounties and when don't we? And with the system starting them in the semis, I think this is just really nice. It's working extremely well for all intents and purposes here, and you can tell by just how many bounties were already attempted and how well this has generally been received by teams and audiences alike. Now for the first objective, the Frozen Punisher. gets locked in by the red team. So we're having Krankle Krew. Ooh, if they can get some kills here too. Yep, they can. Right wing is down. So, and Blaze, they're actually going to let him live. This is one of those choices where you are very tempted to chase and you want to take him on. But then at the same time, you're thinking, why would we do that? Death timers are low. If we chase him and don't push with the Punisher, then we're just going to lose momentum and we're just going to let him go. So very nice choice by the Krankle Krew to let Blaze go. Probius is, by the way, pushing at the top. Diablo down, so is Urel. But with the Frozen Punisher, they're still getting damage on that fort. So things are actually looking very good for the bot lane push. Losing Maiev on top of Urel, though, yeah, is a bit of a problem. But as you can see, they are highly successful with the fort at least, so taking this out on the first objective is nice. This is the problem on the other hand. Leaving Lopaka alone at the top lane allowed Probius to basically take this fort out as well, so they're trading a fort for a fort. As the dust settles, was that really worth it? I mean, I would argue no, so they essentially didn't get any huge advantage through that objective. The push from Lopaka at the top negated all of the advantages that they got for themselves. So fantastic moves by Team Ash and by Lopaka in particular. And that made it a bit dicey. Morenas gets the camp. Nice. Oh, Diablo, look at that engage. Flies in for the stun. And here's the barbecue. The level 10 timing is perfect. Tychus is gone. That couldn't have worked out any better for them. They get the kill, they get the heroics, and they follow it up with the second one against Joanna. They got the camp. I mean, they got everything that they wanted here. So once again, Team Ash starting to take it back. They might have lost the objective, but they still took out a fort, and now they're getting mad damage down at the bottom of the map. Bishops, not really a tank player traditionally. Normally someone that I would have suspected would play Cassia for them. But given the way that they're playing things out with Lopaka playing Probius, they had to also swap some of the roles around, and now Bishops is playing the front line. It's not something that he's never played, but still, you can see that he's more comfortable sometimes in other roles. We had the same situation just the other day where someone, I believe it was for the dudes, played Ana, which isn't a proper healer, and you can then still tell, but they are making it work more often than not, and I find it super impressive when we have some of these role swaps going on, how they still come through for the team and are able to do real work there. Now, Urel moving towards the top now. Porky gets attacked there too. Trying to defend for now. One thing you want to avoid of happening is they keep getting exposed, the wall destroyed. So right now what we're seeing instead, we got 16,000 damage for Cassia on the raw damage, and also 16,000 for Maiev. So yeah. Oh, that's said and done. Morena's at the bottom of the map. Takes another catapult out, already dashes out because they didn't have vision. They didn't know what the red team was about to do, if they would move towards the top, if they moved towards the bottom. So that was a really good choice from him to just play this safe. But now the rest of the team has to also make their play at the top. Nice barbecue move from Diablo. Might still fall. Gets attacked, but they're trapped and they go down. Double kill. Maiev and Tychus both destroyed. And now they go for Krankle and drop him as well. Fantastic kill combo. Once again, look at this. Diablo, just as they got Kane's ult is about to hit, pops his lightning breath. Then they have them trapped completely. Disc is out. They get a double kill and then follow it up with a third. Now they're diving in deep against Porky. They want him. They get him. Urel is not going to make it. 8 kills to 2. Team Ash with some absolutely sexy plays at this point. So, yep, they're getting the momentum here. They're making the big moves, and they're getting the kills. 2 levels ahead. They're 2 levels ahead at this point in time, and yep. Looks great. Talent advantage, of course, too. It's not only the levels and the stat advantage that comes with it, but they have the talent advantage, which essentially means that Morenas has a free reign now on the top as he goes for the next objective. And by the way, Probius has already moved towards the bottom of the map again to try and do the same thing that happened topside and take out another fort, and is pushing them back aggressively with this. So there is so much going on here. They are taking the objective, they're going at the same time for the top lane, and they're pushing at the bottom of the map where Tychus is attempting to defend, but it's a really tall order for him. Probius now with a shield battery on level 13. Morenas is about to get them the objective. Null Gate for Probius. Cassia, by the way, with her stacks on level 1 is currently sitting at 31. Nothing insane, but we also don't have that many big team fights where she would have been able to farm that properly. Maybe now, but then again, she gets attacked and focused, and that's the end of her. Cassia goes down. So Cassia eliminated in that little interplay. But the Punisher still moving through the top. Down at the bottom of the map, at least the camp was taken by the red team. So the Krankle crew, they are fighting back. That half level that is still keeping the blue team separated from the next talent here is a concern though. They might be able to defend, you know, at the top lane against the Punisher, but let's face it, that also means that at the bottom they won't be able to do a lot about the fort. So this one might fall. But they want Probius, and they're getting a kill. Probius goes down. Yeah, Brightwing is trying to get away. Diablo got disked. The barbecue stopped for just a moment. The level 16 talents are ready. That gives Probius the gravity well. Tigers is still the only one that is at the top as he was trying to defend. So not bad from the Krankle crew. This was actually great. They shut down the objective and then they get kills at the bottom of the map and also save their 4. That's awesome. As long as all of them can still stay alive as the fight still heats up. That's going to be great. But Krankle himself is in trouble. So is Renella on the other hand. And Brightwing falls. I think at this point... Oh, the double connect. Ooh. Deckard Pain. Stay alive. And get wrecked. And they get the kill. But he gets punished for his deeds. And that's not the only kill that they got. They got 3 in total. So yeah, Deckard Cain set them up, but they couldn't get a kill. Cassia just murdered them. Absolutely murdered them. And now Urel also with the ult might fall. Krankle crew with some really cool plays, some initial kills, and then they get absolutely rolled in that team fight. Huge moves specifically from Cassia as she absolutely demolishes them here. Deckard Cain set the red team up. They were aiming for the kills. They couldn't quite play through. And then it was just really a massive move from Cassia. She went from target to target and dropped 3 in a row. They have full reign over the middle of the map now. They destroyed the fort at the bot lane and now move in towards the middle to make the same move here and destroy another one. All the forts are gone and the heroes are just falling apart. It's 13 kills to 5 and they're getting absolutely destroyed here. Krankle crew look great. I mean, honestly, it's wild. They look great in that fight, initially at least. And then they absolutely collapsed. The entire team just collapsed. And Cassia, she has 40,000 damage now. Top damage for the blue team, and for a very good reason. Because, well, she was the one that had a huge part in those plays. So had Diablo, by the way. Bishops was always a mega aggressive player. His Hanzo performance, the other hero that he plays over and over again, he is a huge factor when it comes to the aggression that is really the trademark of this team. And in this case now, he was able to just show that again, this time with the main tank. He dives in, gets the kills, the team keeps him alive, and he's able to just completely throw the rhythm of the red team out. Yes, just don't have a chance to recover there from the looks of it. Now it's a 2-level advantage again, and that level 20 talent that will soon be there. Blue team shouldn't fight right now. They might have a problem. Morena's getting caught. That is an issue. Can he survive? Seems like he can. The rest of them is already moving over. Probius, by the way, is still pushing the lanes. Probius is going for one lane push after another and is currently working the bot lane. So, yep. Making the moves right here to try and take down the wall. And the Krankle crew has to react to it. They're playing a heavy macro game. Want to go for Jojo. Mulgit is also out, but Krankle is able to move away. But of course, there was already trouble brewing on the horizon. Level 20 talents are in. That gives us the gatekeepers right here. And they're trying to push at the bottom of the map once more. Probius has 176,000 siege damage. Compare that to any other hero in the game right now. He's essentially doubling it. It's wild. It's absolutely wild. They're playing him as a macro hero on the side that occasionally joins the team, and it still has 34,000 damage. But talking about team fights, Blaze is on the objective. He's gonna get it for them. And the red team, despite the disc that they just threw out, they don't really want to fight this battle. And why would they? It's not one that they can easily win. Mortar Punisher at the bottom of the map. Keep has already taken some damage. The wall is opened up. This is not boding well for the Krankle crew. They are likely about to lose a keep here. Maybe more depending on how well the defense goes for them. This is tough. This is really tough. And well, as it stands, here comes the opportunity to maybe end the game, but at least get ahead here. 14 kills, 2-5, level 20 advantage, and Team Ash is pushing for potential victory. The keep is low, the red team is just trying to rush away here, trying to stay alive, trying to not die, and trying to get the experience for their own Storm talents, but it's not happening anytime soon. The next attack is coming, Krankle is low, here comes Deckard Cain again with the ult, trying to stop them, and the bottom keep has officially fallen. The Punisher on 37% jumps in, wants another piece of the action, but Joanna still has her iron skin. Doesn't seem likely that they can go for the key for the core, at least not with some additional resistance. But they're of course attempting to get the catapults now in position, and they want that lead. They want the lead in the series, given the fact that they have level 20 talents now. And there's the kill, finally. Johanna is down. They got the first kill. 83 stacks now for Cassia. Not too shabby either. And the core is slowly falling. This is looking more and more like a lead for Team Ash. And with Deckard Cain dying, I just have no doubts here anymore. 17 kills, 2-5, no comeback possible anymore. That's game, that's the lead. Team Ash take the victory on Infernal Shrines and are able to lock in the W. Nicely done, well played, the blue team with the advantage in the series. GG.
Before we head into game number 2, make sure that you subscribe to the channel if you haven't done it yet so you don't miss out on any future content here on Khaldor TV.
Game number 2! So, we have Tomb of the Spider Queen as our second map. Now, once again, the 10 heroes that were already played previously cannot be played again. We now have Team Ash going up against the Krankle crew in our first semifinal of the last qualifier for the Murky Cup. So, once that we're done with this tournament, we will have determined not only the 6 teams that advance to the playoffs, but also which seeding we're going to get for them. And who's going to be able to move all through that. But yeah, anyway, so now Sylvanas gets banned when Tomb. You want to have wave clear. It's a small map, so you can also easily rotate between the lanes and get some stuff done. The Probius bounty successfully completed. Quick reminder with the bounties. Here we go. So, as usual, starting with the semifinals, where we are right now, you can complete bounties in the qualifiers. And here, Team Ash has already done a lot. But there's still some stuff that hasn't even been attempted yet. The biggest one, so Valera hasn't been tried yet, and Twin Blades variant hasn't been tried yet either. I think those are the only one that haven't been tried yet at all. And Valera, at least in the Banshee Cups, which use the same system, has been attempted. And I would think that we're gonna get Valera eventually from, let's say, the Exodia stack, for example. But the variant Twin Blades, that might just be a little bit too much. Hanzo gets picked as a first choice here. We get Murden and Mephisto. I could have totally seen Mephisto also on Infernal Shrines. I actually highlighted him as a potential pick, but of course in Tomb of the Spider Queen he's also fantastic. So yeah, he gets locked in. And now we're having the double pick on the right side of the map. Still curious if we're getting another bounty attempt. Porky goes for Stitches, and I'm immediately wondering if they completed the Alexstrasza Stitches bounty. That would be a good map to try it, and apparently they might have, but they're not trying to go for that bounty. They've gone for Malfurion instead as their support, and I don't think we're going to get some wild double support with this, specifically since Vala has been banned out. Unless you also want to add Suljin, but then you're missing a side laner since they're already locked in Hanzo, so yeah, it's not happening. They're not going to go for bounty. They didn't even go for bounty on the first map. So yeah, at least they're not going for the Stitches bounty. Let's put it out like this. So, well, with that said, we now have Leo banned out. So he's not going to be part of the side lane. There's not going to be any tombs that they can play around either. And Leo, of course, comes also with a lot of AoE that they can use, with a lot of wave clear that they can then set up. So that's another pretty big tool in their arsenal if being used. Alexstrasza gets banned again. Why are they banning Alex? What? That's actually an interesting ban against the blue team. Huh? I have to admit I'm a bit confused here. The only bounty that Alexstrasza is involved in is the Stitches Alexstrasza bounty. I did not think that they would be tempted to go for Alexstrasza. So this is a bit of a wild one. Oh, okay, fair enough. Cho'Gall is in the house. Mirrodin, Mephisto, and then they drop Cho'Gall on us. So now it gets interesting. Apparently Team Ash is still bounty hunting. They're still going for bounties. And yeah, we'll see what's now happening. I mean, Krankle Crew is apparently afraid of Alexstrasza Mephisto, I guess? I have never seen a team that was so afraid of it that they would ban Alexstrasza out. But yeah, I think Team Ash, they are very, very happy with what's going on here. Imperius and Sonya's taken on the other side. Whoa, yeah, this is getting rough. I think they could have taken Greymane maybe. But no, they didn't. They went Sonya and Imperius at least gives them a big front line. But now we have Renella over on the left side. Is he gonna go Oriel or what's gonna be the choice? With Cho'Gall, of course, always possible. I mean, either way, this is gonna get wild. And there's Oriel. So Tomb of the Spider Queen. Another bounty attempt by Team Ash. They want the Cho'Gall bounty. Let's see if they can get it. Map number 2, everybody. Tomb of the Spider Queen. The 1-0 lead in the best of 3 series for Team Ash, and now they're coming in game number 2 with Renella on Oriel, down for life on Mephisto. Bishops is playing Mirrodin, and of course the one thing that we're all looking for is Lopaka and Cho and Morenas on Gal. On the right side, the Krankle Crew with Deviant on Malfurion. We got Malkarx on Hanzo, Krankle on Imperius. Porky actually still goes for Hungry for More on level 1. And we have Sven on Sonya. So, time to shine. Let's see what we're gonna get. And first of all, let's see the name. Yeah, well, that's not really all that exciting. DDX, Iraq, whatever. Nah. There's always the problem when you have some players that have clan tags in their, or team tags in their name. That once that we have those double names with Cho'Gall, it's just not the same thing. It's just very... Right. But again, they're trying for the Cho'Gall bounty, so they give themselves a bit of a handicap in an attempt to lock in another ticket for the bounty pool. And they're getting a kill! Imperius gets very quickly taken out. Also, if you encounter somebody that has a Cho'Gall skin, then you also know that trouble's brewing. So, down at the bottom of the map, Sven is currently all alone. Stitches still moving around and trying to get his stacks together. I personally like Hungry for More quite a lot. It's a real fun talent where you can get in the late game a nearly unkillable hero. But we're not quite there yet. Teams are currently going for camps here. Krankle Crew, of course, heavily interested in winning now on Tomb so that they can move on to Game 3 and potentially advance to the Grand Final after all. Because this is a single elimination system. All of the qualifiers that we're playing here are single elimination systems. Yeah, nice hook. Nearly into tower range, but oof. Yeah, Oriel is obviously just using him as a battery and is doing very, very well here. Having Mirrodin in this is also super interesting now. Because Mirrodin can essentially go for very different talents if he wants to. Or could do that. Now, their main damage is still, they essentially got a double mage's damage. They got Gal and they got Mephisto. 6 stacks for Stitches. But yeah, let's see how the gems are gonna work for them. It's a very small map, so quick rotations between the lanes, it's not really a problem. It's definitely something that they can try and exploit here, as all of this continues. In the middle, the attack is now coming. Stitches coming through with playtime. We have also Shattered Ground now for Sonya. So she's going to be super interesting in this context. With the triple front line, they can definitely do some work against Cho'Gall too. But time will tell. For level 4 we get Seared Flesh. And we got the Rising Dread for Cho'Gall as Mirrodin goes into Reverberation. So makes sense. Again, I'm currently thinking, is he going to go, I don't know, Playmaker for example. Are we going to get that? He's just gonna play it out with Avatar anyways. Already good damage done by Cho'Gath at the bottom of the map. There's only... Oh, nice whip. I like it. So, the whip comes out. Pretty quick one. And... yeah, they're trying to go for Ranella over here. Porky. The wall is already gone. That tower and that gate is gone. Stitches is now doing some work. He has nice stacks early on in the game. This is the beauty of Tomb of the Spider Queen. You can rotate between the lanes. Get a few more globes for yourself. All, of course, in the service of trying to get into a late game beast. If he gets good stacks, the movement speed advantage is going to be nice. If you gorge Cho'Gath with Stitches, you're getting essentially a 2-for-1. So he's a big boy. But for now, it's very tame. Very tame early game. Obviously, the blue team is also absolutely okay in just getting this into the later stages of the game. Cho'Gath is someone that scales very, very nicely. They don't mind at all slowing this down just a little bit. Because, well, if they do, then they will benefit from all those beast talents later on. And can really run a show on the opponent's team thanks to Cho'Gath. So that's kind of the game plan here. Cho'Gath rain terror on the opponents in the late game. Level 7 gives us Flash of Anger for Imperius, Battle Rage for Sonya. We're getting Muradin with Skullcracker, so the mini stuns. And still damage done at the bottom of the map. Another tower goes down, and the more damage you do without using your web weavers, hey, the better. So, turn-ins have so far not happened at all. Not even a single gem has been delivered. Soon gonna change, I suppose. But right now... Oh, Sven, careful. Yeah, he can't die. 22 gems. Does he have a Stormbolt still? And the answer is no. That would have been a problem. If he falls and they can't recover the gems immediately, that would be a big, big problem. But again, they still made it. Then again, down for life. Mephisto is able to get out of the fight. Or is he? Sven is still following up on this, or trying to, but it's Imperius that falls. And that is the first kill in the game. Imperius is down, and some of the gems, actually most of them, all of them, have been recovered. Not a lot lost there. 17 to 18 that the two teams turned in right now. And next attack is already coming through the middle. Porky, the red web weavers, they come down first as Hanzo turned in. But Porky has actually done a great job on his globe stacks. I really, really like it. He's very diligent about moving through the lanes and getting the globes. He is on 18 now. Still a bit wild to me that they were the ones that actually banned Alexstrasza. Just imagine Alexstrasza now all of a sudden sitting in this game too and being able to assist him getting more globes together. That would be a real fun one and a huge hit point pool that he could run together with that. He's already at 19 just by going for minion waves. If Alexstrasza was there as well, he would end up with just an absurd number and a hit point pool that you can't burn down. As is, we now have the defense in the middle of the map coming through, so yeah. That web weaver has been taken out very easily, not a problem. And then on top of that, they are already pushing at the top as well, doing their work here. The wall gets destroyed. Level 10 is, by the way, kicking in any second. And they have a bit of a window. Nothing too insane, but maybe something that they can still utilize anyways. Yeah, it's a little bit unlikely. Unless, of course, Cho'Gath gets now caught here. That would be a problem. Playmaker, by the way, Aegis. But yeah, Playmaker was a bit of a question mark with Bishops again. He's not really the main tank now that they have Cho'Gath too. Oh, he kicked what? What are you doing? No way. That could have been a kill. Playmaker again, just absolute fail. He thought he could kill him with it, I suppose. He thought he had it. But now Bishops goes down and Mephisto dies as well. The Krankle crew with a double kill. And now that they take Oriel down, they turn it into triple. 5-man team wipe. The entire team gets murdered. This is how it started. Look at Muradin. Now the fort gets destroyed, and holy hell, they just lost 63 gems. More than that. So, yeah. That was brutal. Everybody gets destroyed. Fort at the bottom of the map gets destroyed. Fort in the middle takes an enormous amount of damage and might also fall. There's an easy second turn in now for the red team too. which they should be able to get. But yes, as expected, down at the bottom, I mean, if the 4 doesn't fall, then it's going to be so low that it's going to get crushed whenever somebody just takes a look at it. Throw some chewing gum down there. So, yep, both of the forts are gone, and boy, are they behind now. 1.5 levels behind, losing the entire team and also the gems in the process is about as bad as it gets for a team. That's just disastrous. Whip into the wall. Krankle gets attacked here, and holy hell, they are in trouble now. 13. If they can get some kills, maybe they can at least take Murden down. And they got close, but they weren't able to quite pull it off. The ult from Mephisto was a decent one, just not good enough. But yeah, they did at least a bit of work on this. Ah, I feel a little bit sorry for them, I gotta say. They look great. They look great for such a long time, and now they're just getting absolutely rolled here. Top sides, it's the play made for the keep, but as you can say, or at least for the keep wall at the bottom of the map, the Web Weaver's also pushing. Over here, at least Stitches gets destroyed, so that shuts the push down. But they might lose Muradin. Good heal from Oriel. The fight isn't over yet, though. Nice whip! And Krankle, yep, he dies too. Cho'Gall on the other hand, 8 hit points! Cho'Gall just had 8 hit points! No way! Muradin with 36, and he also gets out. This, on the other hand, is the bigger problem. This is the big issue right there. They're losing the keep at the bottom, so even with them getting a few kills, it just wasn't worth it. Look at this, by the way. Nice kill initially against Imperius, but take a look at Cho'Gall. Cho'Gall in the corner. He literally had single-digit hit points at that moment. Now, 4 kills to 5. The problem still is you have no structures left. I mean, you got nothing. When we're talking structures, you just got nothing. So, how do you bring that back? 28 stacks for Stitches. So, he's looking at some solid numbers now. 35,000 damage for Hanzo. Cho is sitting at 29,000. So is Gal. They go for the boss at the top now. The red team is absolutely dominant here. Totally dominant in that encounter. The blue team is doing everything that they can to somehow bring this back, but in order to do so, they need to take structures out. And that's what they're trying to do. That's why they're down here at the bottom of the map now. They're trying to take a fort out, but they also have to be aware that they're likely going to lose their topside keep now. Maybe they can save it, I don't know. But it's not going to be easy. It's going to get very, very difficult here. So the keep at the top gets attacked. Look at the experience as well. Level 16 is so close now. So here comes the attack. Nice. This time. Hey, he gets out. Maybe now. Some damage. Gonna go for Imperius. The whip. And Krankle is about to go down again. So does Mephisto though. Cho'Gall is still fighting. The keep is going to get destroyed. But maybe, yeah, they can get another kill. They're going for Hanzo. Bishops is low and falls as well. It's a 3 versus 3 right now. Oriel and Cho'Gall, the only survivors here. And Cho'Gall, just as I said, he gets destroyed too. Looks like we might go to game number 3. Yeah, Cho'Gall might have been a little bit too much for them. Renella is about to fall. That's another one. 5-man team wipe. The second 5-man wipe in this series for the Krankle crew. And we are going to the 3rd game of the series here in the semifinal of the 6th and final qualifier of the Murky Cup. GG. Dragonshire, here we are once again. Game number 3. We're going the distance after the Cho'Gall bounty attempt actually failed. So they were not able to do it. Cho'Gall was defeated. And yeah, they got team wiped twice. Honestly, it was that first team wipe that already threw them so far behind that it was nearly impossible to come back in the first place. It wasn't only that they lost the heroes, allowed the opponent to turn in, gave them an experience lead and lost control over the map. But on top of that, you also had the problem in the situation that they just lost all their gems. All the gems were lost, and that made it even more difficult for them to get back into the game. Normally when you have a lot of gems saved up and you can at least safeguard those, you have a ticket back if you can turn them in. But that was never even an option for them. Now the 10 heroes that have been played cannot be played again. We have a draft restriction. But now let's see who is going to win the series, move on to the grand final, and has another chance, obviously, to get some significant points for the leaderboard and maybe, you know, just like step it up a little bit in the seeding and get a better position for themselves. Yeah. Now, again, reminder, these are the bounties that we have in case that you want to check. So some of them have been completed by the teams. Each team has their own bounty board. So let's say, what have we seen as bounties today? We've seen the Probius bounty completed by Team Ash. That means that other teams that have not completed the Probius bounty can still do that. So each team has their own bounty board. But obviously, since heroes can't be played again, that also eliminates some bounties as options for this best of 3 now. Lucio gets picked. We get Anubarak. Vala again banned. It's kind of a shame. I personally actually like when Vala is getting picked. I think that's kind of entertaining. We're now looking at the follow-up for Renella. We're going to get some Stukov, Malfurion. Malfurion got played, right? Stukov I think is still open. Dehaka. I mean, we are on Dragonshire after all. So, well, let's see what they can do with the global at the top lane. And how exactly the Krankle crew is going to react. Also, I want to see if the Team Ash is actually going to go for another bounty. Because now, if game number 1, you know, if you win that and then you're ahead and you take another bounty and maybe you go a bit deeper and like, hey, what can we get away with in regards to bounties? I get that. But once that your victory is on the line, are they willing to just play that out without a bounty, or do they still try one? So right now we got Rexa for the top lane, the King of Dragonshire. It's one of the best solo laners for Dragonshire. Just simply because he can hold the objective and the lane experience at the same time. So he's very, very strong in that role. Falls very short in other contexts, but for that, he is fantastic. So Dehaka already has work cut out for him, but we will likely see other heroes drafted for Team Ash that will allow, Rexa to be ganked. So they want to have someone that is mobile, that can really just get from one lane to another very quickly, and then just go to the top, put some pressure on Rexa. Try and also just make Porky worried about what's coming his way as often as you can. Now you can also do that with Anubarak to an extent where you just dive in and try and get a stun. Morenas follows it up, but one of the damage dealers with high mobility would be good. Not one of those. Sergeant Emma is not really a high mobility damage dealer, but I think Genji is, for example, still up and could be picked here. Seems like Bishops is gonna play tank again. We still need some damage. And I want to see what the follow-up healer for Anubarak is. Are they just going to stun and get... is there going to be a follow-up, or are they just worried about like good heal sustain? Yeah, apparently. Rega gets taken, and we get Genji. So with Genji, you now have exactly what I talked about earlier. Genji can quickly go towards the top lane, can put pressure on Rexa, can try and gank together with Dehaka, and maybe even Anubarak, and make sure that Rexa is just not going to get an easy lane up there. So, it's going to be pretty important for them. Still have their final pick to be taken, so they can react a bit to what's happening on the side of the Krankle crew. And also, if they want to go for bounties, Valera, Nova, all still up. So, stuff that they could play. Krankle crew themselves, they are not interested in bounties, they just want to improve their seeding for the playoffs. So, they are playing Tyrael and Orphea here. They just want the victory. They want to move on to the grand final of today's tournament. As we're now getting our final pick. God, I'm intrigued. I want to know. Bounty or no bounty? And if bounty, which one? Team Ash. Decisions have to be made. And they go for... Krew. Alright, alright, alright. They apparently want to win as well. So, no handicaps this time. Straight up drafts by the two teams. Krankle crew against Team Ash. We're going to Dragonshire. Team Ash not going for a bounty right now. The reason is obvious. They just figured out, hey, if we win this game, we have another series where we can once again go for bounties. So, total IQ 200 play here from Team Ash as they're going full tryhard in game number 3. On the left, in blue, Renella on Rega. We get Morenas on Dehaka. Lopaka on Genji. Bishops is playing with the Legion of Beetles on Anubarak. And we have down 4 life on Chromie. Oh, shut up. On the right side, Porky with Rexa. We have Krankle on Tyrael, Sven on Tracer, Malkarx on Ophia, and Deviant is playing Lucio. So, let's go! That on the Haka. Nearly getting killed over here. Yeah, he nearly got destroyed. That was a close call. Could have been the end of him. Could have been first blood, but seems like everybody is getting away. Actually, he comes in with a global and was trying to follow it up with another play. Didn't quite work out for them. But, yep. Now we're having the rotation down to the bottom of the map. Things are starting to stabilize a bit as the teams are, of course, now trying to just go back into their normal rhythm. The top lane has already been established between the Haka and Rexa. Down here at the bottom though, Ophia just chomping away and nearly dropping Genji. Damn. But Sven, he's low and gets killed by Chromie. That last final hit with a bit of sand thrown around. Gara would have been proud for sure. So, that's first blood. That's a nice kill. Tracer gets destroyed and gets murdered. Top side, yeah, again. They will have to send up Genji a couple of times in order to get the full control over here. But with the first siege site is now taken, space slowly controlled by a couple of the time traps as well that we're getting from the blue team. We now have Lopaka just diving around here. Top side, yeah, the Haka still. Chromie, by the way, after going Sandblast on 1, has now gone on the Endoral Anomaly on level 4. Bishop's maybe a little bit too deep. I mean, the red team is already going for double control on the shrines, and I would assume that this is not going to be all that easy for them. Bishop's is already in the middle, but there is an attempt at a channel. The Haga is about to... Okay, the Haga is taking over again up at the top. That's kind of what I was waiting for. Tracer at the bot lane gets killed again by Genji this time. So as the Haga takes top lane control, Chromie is taking it at the bottom of the map, and now it's the blue team that is all of a sudden threatening that Dragon Knight. And they're gonna get it! Yeah, there it is! They were trying to block the damage, job well done, and that is DK number 1, 2 minutes and 30 seconds into the game. We got a quickie over here. Blue team with a solid lead on the DK can easily now go to destroy the wall in the middle. Unlikely that they're gonna get much more than that, but they're getting a kill against Rexa at the top. Genji even following it up on Krankle, who drops the fountain real quickly. And since mana is running a little bit low, they're retreating here. But look at that, Lucio also having some serious hit point problems. He's able to tap the fountain too. But with all of them being either dead or engaged, it actually means that we're getting more value for the DK. Not only has the wall been destroyed, but the Dragon Knight it's also taken that fort down by roughly 50%. And they're going for Tracer. Gets zipped out and killed. Nicely done by Lopaka. Beautiful kill right there. Another quick look at it. But I mean, he didn't even wait until she materialized. He was just like, I know exactly where you're going to respawn. Look at this one. Bam! Tracer didn't even know what hit her at that moment. So, absolutely murdered. So damn good. 7 on the board for the blue team. They have 4 kills to 0, by the way. So, yep, 4 kills to 0. Definitely doing work. And you gotta give it to Team Ash. That start into game number 3 is pretty spectacular. Damage done to structures. Bit of a leading experience. It's most of the control, honestly, that they have over the game. Because in XP, that's half a level, you know? It's nice, but it's not too insane. But if you have that much control just generally over the flow of the game and your opponent is consistently down in numbers, that's always a good lead. By the way, when we're talking about Rexa, topside, he has gone initially into Bird of Prey, and then we have him with Taking Flight on level 7. Oh. Lucio! He's dead. Yeah! Lucio's dead again. Nice ult from Chromie. Yeah, that was a pretty good one. Good ult from Chromie. Able to set that up perfectly for the team. Sven about to get attacked here too. Alright. Malkarx, careful. Krankle also needs to be a bit cautious here. They're coming in for Ophia and they take her down. So far, the Krankle crew haven't gotten a single kill yet. Tracer's again in trouble. She falls too. That's 2 kills to 0 right now. An absolute slaughter here. They're turning Dragonshire into a graveyard. This is a total bloodbath here with 7 kills to 0 as Team Ash goes through the Krankle crew like hot butter through cheese. Murdering them. 1 hero at a time. The lead in experience now extended easily. And it means that we're looking at level 10 abilities with a 1.5 level lead for the team. Yeah, they are playing a fantastic game. Could go for the next objective. Are gonna try to do exactly that. And you know, maybe they're getting another Dragon Knight. 1 fort has already been destroyed. Here come the level 10 abilities. So this is going to give them even more power. But I'm just asking myself when exactly we're going to see the first kill for the Krankle crew. Genji, by the way, waiting it out with his ult a little bit. Couple choices of him, for example. Both totally viable, depending on how he wants to play this. And they're moving in for another kill. Rexa is gone. Rexa is destroyed. Yeah, they are getting farmed. Very impressive by Team Ash. Highly unfortunate for the Krankle crew here. Now, can they bring it back at some point? Maybe when they have their own level 10 abilities? Because now Ophia becomes the target again. She's low, and she's pretty much dead. Genji comes in, wants the kill, gets the kill. Stun from Nubarak against Tyrael and Lucio. Ancestral is out, but Tracer is again in trouble, or what we call in professional circles deep shit. She is still able to get away though. Was able to make it out. But now we have level 10 abilities finally for the red team. The entire time they were playing without heroics. Now they got those. Maybe that changes the dynamic a little bit. They were trying to take control of the shrine at the top again. But the Haka slowed them down. He might actually pay with his life for that. Get some assistance from Tyrael here. But the Dragon Knight, which was the ultimate goal, got taken. And that's now firmly in the hands of Team Ash. And therefore we're going to get them with another... Yeah, with another structure destroyed. This is the second fort they are now taking out, and they could get more with this. Ophia falls again. The aggression down at the bottom of the map just continues, and boy, oh boy. Maybe now? Genji? This Tracer can't even get that kill. Rhaegar too strong on the heels. 10 kills. There it is. Chromie dies. Finally. The first kill for the red team, for the Krankle crew. Now, top side, we have the Dragon Knight doing way more damage than he honestly should have been able to. He did not only destroy the fort in the middle, but now he's also about to destroy the fort up at the top. So yeah, they're getting a mad amount of value out of DK number 2. And there's still a 2-level lead. Krankle crew, they need a small miracle in order to bring this one back. A kill against Genji would help. And it's not even happening! No! Even with the ult of Ophia, they cannot get the kill. He just rushes away from it. They're going for the camp in the meantime, stealing that away. Cheeky as hell, but looks like it's gonna work out for them. Quick cocoon, and they're hoping they can get even a bit more out of this, but I think this time this isn't happening. Nah. Don't get too confident. At this point, they're clearly on their way to victory. But you should not overdo it. If you get to a point where you're getting too aggressive and yeah, you're not really calculating things through properly, then you might still get absolutely destroyed here. So something that they should try and avoid at all costs. Don't get too confident, don't get too cocky, and yeah, I don't necessarily think that they will here, but they gotta be careful with this. Now, as is, we are looking at another camp at the bottom of the map. Also, top side, the Haka is now going for the next. So they are time and time just pushing mercenaries out. And actually take a look also at the amount of mercenaries they got. Look at the difference in mercenary experience. That's crazy. That is an insane difference. 3,600 to 730. You can clearly see which team has dominated the mercenaries throughout this entire game. And that results in map control most of the time. So, great job by them, very diligent. And once that they had the advantage, they went for one camp after another, and it clearly shows. Now, in the middle, next attack. This time they're trying to go for Nubarak. That didn't work out for them either. Another camp down here at the bottom. This time it was the red team that was at least able to steal one, but topside gets still pushed. The Ancestral is a second too late. Rhaegar not in time to make that work. Teriel goes down too though, so that's a kill for a kill that we're getting here. And yeah, matters might get worse as Rhaegar falls, so their support is eliminated as well. Support is gone, and now we are moving in for the next hit. 16, that's the big blow against the red team now. Topside, Fort, Keep, Fort is obviously dead. Keep has been exposed now that the entire wall has been crushed. So that's another problem. Now you can make a play through that lane too. Tracer, with all the mobility that she has, went at least to the top to get the shrine and slow the opponent down a little bit. But bad news. All in all, it's just bad news for the team in red. They're really struggling here. If they can perform again like they did on the last map, maybe get a 5-man wipe, anything along those lines, you know, they might just have a chance. But currently, it's just tough. They're trying. I mean, they're trying to get their kills. They have a lot of tools here that they could use, but so far in this entire game, they've only been able to get 3 kills. That's all that they've got. Now, the Dragonite is difficult to take if you don't have a fountain that you can fall back onto, and your opponent still has 3, so it makes things tricky. And it will become a problem, as the next one is now shortly going to be fought over. They're at least catching up in experience. I mean, still 2 levels behind. Well, they're at least catching up in talents. Yeah, the fight at the bottom. No 16 talents yet. And they go for Teriel. Okay, Sanctification is now out. Rexa is coming in. Ancestral had to be used by Rhaegar in order to save him here. But the fight still going strong. They're trying to turn it on Teriel. Opaka comes through with the attack, but has to retreat too. They get the drag on Ophia. They want the kill. They might be able to pull it off here. They're all so low. Krankle gets a heal from Lucio. Gets a helping hand there. And is then able to move back out. But close call regardless. That could have been another kill. It definitely could have been. But they were able to survive. The Haka is now moving towards the middle. They still have that double control, and he gets another Dragonite. That's the 3rd one in a row now for Team Ash. They are in utter control of this. The level 20 kicks in for Chromie. We get the Piercing Sands now, which is just perfectly lined up for that push that we're now seeing. At least 16 is ready for the red team, so they can fight back a bit more aggressively. But yep, there's the next play. Attack after attack is coming. Job well done so far. Bot lane Keep exposed and will now be targeted. And they get Ophia with it. So it's a problem, and a big one at that. Rexa down, Ophia down, Lucio down. I mean, they're all just getting absolutely crushed and killed here. And this is starting to become an utter disaster for the team. With 4 heroes gone, the Dragonite has now moved through the middle instead of the bot lane. So the fight at the bottom of the map was nice, but the real prize is in the middle as we speak. They're trying to go for a game, and with a 5-man wipe being completed as Tracer falls, there's no stopping them anymore. Team Ash moves on to the next round of this tournament. They move on to the grand final. GG and well played.